Okay, welcome. I'd like to call this March 25th, 2024 council meeting to order. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Coin.
Here.
DeSalvo.
Here.
Hare. Here. Hazeltine. Rose.
Here.
Shields.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Reading of the minutes.
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields.
I move that the minutes of the regular meeting of March 11, 2024 is prepared and submitted by the clerk be approved. Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Will the clerk please call the roll on the approval of the minutes?
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Reports of standing committees. The Finance Committee met prior to council this evening and will meet again on Tuesday, April 9th. If you recall, April 8th is kind of a big day. I think the solar eclipse is coming that day. So we moved our meeting to the next day. So hopefully everybody will enjoy the solar eclipse that we're going to have this year. Health, Safety, and Sanitation, Mr. Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
Public Properties, Mr. Shields.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, no report this evening.
Special Legislation, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
Streets and Sidewalks, Ms. Hare.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled, nothing to report.
And Emerging Technologies, Mrs. DeSalvo.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled and nothing to report.
Thank you. Requests for council action. We have several for finance. 2467 budget amendments. 2468 fiscal year 22 chip rehab amend ordinance 17823, 137 Oakley Drive. 2469 a then and now for Ray and Associates 2023 audit. 2470 resolution supporting America 250 Ohio. 2471 increase PO Signal Service Co. 2472 amend ordinance 12418 ODOT State Bike Route 71 realignment. 2473 purchase of a 2024 Ford F-350 forestry. 2474 amend ordinance 8423 municipal pool rates. 2475 amend ordinance 11322 MCRC membership rates. 2476 amend ordinance 922 MCRC facility rental rates. 2477 construction manager at risk municipal courthouse renovation. 2478 engineering design services for US 42 resurfacing. 2479 increase PO 2024-1068 Coulter Ventures Rogue Fitness. 2480 sale of fire department trailer to EMA. And finally 2481 transfer of Medina City parking lot. Confirmation of mayor's appointments. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to accept mayor's appointment of Linda Williams from Medina County Advisory Board on Aging for a term expiring 3/31/27.
I'll make a motion to confirm the mayor's appointment.
Second.
Any discussion on the mayor's appointment? Will the clerk please call the roll on the confirmation of mayor's appointment?
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Notice of communication petitions. There are none. Unfinished business. There's none. Introduction of visitors. Oh, I forgot something. I thought I was going to skip that today. I'm sorry. Reports of municipal officers. Mayor Hamlin.
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's kind of a big elephant in that room.
So, the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, or NOACA, is mailing out travel surveys to randomly selected participants in the 5-county region, which includes Medina County, and we're just asking those that are selected to please take a little bit of time and fill out those surveys to represent Medina County. I'd like to direct people to the city website, www.medinaoh.org /City Hall /Solar Eclipse 2024. There are events and activities all 3 dates, April 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I'd like to thank Barbara Deser for arranging a working group to take part in the planning and arranging these many programs with collaboration from the Medina Area Chamber of Commerce, the Medina County Visitors Bureau, and many local businesses for support and advertising posters for same. Major sponsors are Armstrong, Huntington Bank, Medina County Convention and Visitors Bureau, Root Candles, and Sweets and Geeks. We thank all for your generous support. They're also in need of volunteers to help with a scavenger hunt. If available, you can email Barbara Deser at bdzur@medinaoh.org or simply call her at 330-722-9029. The Children's Center of Medina County will have their annual pinwheel walk on the square to recognize the number of child abuse cases. That'll be April 14th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And each pinwheel represents a child abuse case that was opened in the past year. And then last but not least, Main Street Medina is hosting its first this year Cars and Coffee on the square, and that will be April 21st from 8 to noon. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lanier, Assistant Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Matt Lanier, Assistant Law Director. On behalf of Mr. Huber, nothing to report today.
Thank you. Mr. Durham, Finance Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reminder that the city of Medina does have an income tax and residents are required to file. You can get that with Rita collects the tax for us, so you can find them online and get everything there. Then I have a few things on the agenda I'll talk about when we get there.
Thank you. Mr. Marshall, Economic Development Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. If you haven't noticed, the Kmart building is being demolished. So I think that's the most exciting thing, besides the solar eclipse, of course.
I remember back in 1990 or 91 when it was built, it was the largest Kmart in the world. Is that correct at that time? Mm-hmm. The first super Kmart in the country. Yeah, now it's gone.
They closed December of 2011, so it's been vacant pretty much ever since then.
Okay.
Dan Gladish could probably tell you more about what percentage of the demo they're at right now, but I think they're still working on the building, and then they're going to do the parking lot.
Yeah, it's about a 2.5-week process for the building alone.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Kinney, Police Department.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last week, we had a 9-year-old student hitting the square while walking to school at Garfield Elementary. In consultation with the family, it was decided to release the video to highlight how important it is to pay attention while you're driving inside the square. Fortunately, the child only received minor injuries, but it obviously could have been much, much worse. This is the third pedestrian hit in the square over the past 2 years. This location has clear pavement markings, traffic signals, crosswalk signals, and audible signals for pedestrians. I want to remind drivers that they must yield to pedestrians while they're in the crosswalk, and most importantly, pay attention to what's going on around you while you're driving through the square or when you're turning at any intersection. In this most recent case, the driver of the vehicle was charged with failing to yield to a pedestrian in the crosswalk, driving under suspension, and driving without a driver's license. And again, the purpose of that video and the purpose that I highlight is that it's important for people to pay attention when they're driving through the square. Clearly, in this case, the driver of that vehicle was distracted. We're not sure exactly what was distracting her, but both those children walked right in front of the vehicle and she continued forward. So let's just pay a little more attention when we're going through the square so this doesn't happen again. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Picoli, Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Gladys, Building Official.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Mr. Patton, City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to notice we recently opened bids for our third columbarium wall at Spring Grove Cemetery. This afternoon, the Board of Control decided to award that contract, so we look forward to starting that project and being done by September.
Thank you. Mr. Worley, Parks and Recreation Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just one update from our forestry department. In December of last year, we issued a forestry utility work permit to Ohio Edison Company. They are actively out notifying residents and performing maintenance, vegetation maintenance in the right-of-way all throughout the city for majority of the summer. Any homes that are going to be impacted by the work, they will receive either door hanger notification or speak to the permitter directly regarding the work. The one change for this year is they will be marking trees discreetly with red spray paint towards the base of the tree, even if the trees are in private property but on the utility corridor. This is in an effort to have a little bit more control of the work that's being performed on particular trees in the property. So again, if you have any questions or you have a tree with a mark on it, please contact the number that was left at your door. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Walters, Fire Department.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Mr. Dutton, Planning and Community Development Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Okay, since agenda round. Introduction of visitors. Members of the public will be admitted the opportunity to speak on any issue or concern which pertains to the city during a portion of the council agenda devoted to introduction of visitors. All comments shall be directed to the chair, and a reasonable time limit of approximately 5 minutes will be imposed. As a group, please appoint a spokesperson. Speakers should approach the rear microphone, state their name and address so it can be entered in the minutes. Members of the public will be afforded the comment on other portions of the meeting as determined by the chair or by a vote of the majority of council members present. Currently, we have two individuals that signed up to speak. It's Nancy Peacock from the Free Clinic of Medina County. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you tonight about the Free Clinic of Medina County. Our mission is to provide free medical services to eligible people who live or work in Medina County. So you can either do one or the other or both. It's been called the best kept secret in Medina County, and we want to change that. I started with the Free Clinic 5 years ago as executive director, and that's been one of my goals. Let me tell you how we got started. 20 years ago, Dr. Kim Bowen was the director of the Medina Hospital Emergency Room, and he created the Free Clinic with other doctors and nurses and friends working together to create a place where people who don't have health insurance can receive free health care. This is how it works. We have a dedicated team of 9 doctors and 11 nurses who volunteer their time each month to see our patients. Our medical clinic is easy to find. We're in the North Medical Building of Cleveland Clinic. The emergency room is on the left with all the lights and so forth. We're on the right. You go down the hill and we're at that big parking lot at entrance D. We have a lovely office in Suite 104. So how do you become a patient of the Free Clinic? You need to have 3 things. You need to be between 18 and 64, because once 65 kicks in and you have Medicare, you don't need us anymore. Live or work in Medina County. And then your income should fall within 250% of the federal health care guidelines, poverty guidelines. For a single person, that means you can earn up to $36,500 and still qualify for our services. A family of 4 can even earn up to $75,000 and qualify for our services. Why do we have income limits? If your income limit is within 250% of those federal guidelines, this allows you to be enrolled in the Cleveland Clinic Hospital Care Assurance Program, known as HCAP, which is their charity program, and it provides free medical care throughout the Cleveland Clinic system of medical labs, testing, and specialists. So, in addition to having free care from our practice and our family physicians and nurses, you will also be eligible for all the specialty services and testing through the Cleveland Clinic, including surgery, no matter how complicated or whatever. Maybe it sounds complicated, the process of signing up, but it's really very elegantly simple. One of the best ways to find out if you qualify is to call our clinic and leave your name and phone number. Our nurse will return your call and answer any questions you have. And if you qualify, you become a patient of the Free Clinic. The other thing important thing to know about the Free Clinic is that we are completely supported by the folks of Medina County. No tax dollars, no federal funds. Just supporters who believe in what we do. Once a year, we have a fundraiser in August, but other than that, it's local civic organizations, clubs, churches, businesses, and individuals in this county who make our clinic possible. If you go to our website at fcomc.org, you can learn a lot about us or call our clinic anytime at 330-764-9300 and leave a message. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have. We want to find every single person in Medina County who does not have medical insurance and needs our help. It's the only reason we exist, and we've been around for 20 years. We would be happy to answer any questions about the clinic, eligibility, and what we can do to help provide the people of Medina County to stay healthy and happy. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another speaker, Tom O'Connell, from talking about Aging in Place program.
Thank you for the opportunity, members of council, Mayor Hanwell. Habitat's partner in this program is the Medina County Office for Older Adults, and Laura Toth, the executive director, is here, and I'm going to give her a few moments too to share about this program from her perspective too.
The two of us together will not go over 5 minutes. My name is Laura Toth. I am the Director of Office for Older Adults located at 246 Northland Drive, Medina, Ohio. I wanted to talk a little bit first about our mission at the Office for Older Adults is to keep older adults in the community, ages 60 and over, and adults with a disability in the communities that they want to live in for as long as they can live in. So we work throughout Medina County, providing many services, transportation, home-delivered meals, short-term case management, and a variety of other social educational opportunities to hopefully enrich the lives of all older adults in the county. So when Mr. O'Connell came to me last summer and talked about a program to do small repairs to homes within senior homes in Medina County, I kind of jumped on that. I said, that sounds fantastic. And it also fit together with funding that, one-time funding that we received in Medina County called the Healthy Aging Grant. The Healthy Aging Grant is money from the Ohio Department of Aging. It was approved in Governor DeWine's budget to improve the lives of seniors in all communities in Ohio. And so it was given to the Board of Commissioners in each county, in all 88 counties, and we were lucky to receive that. Part of that funding goes for housing, and what we've done in Medina County is given a good portion of that funding to this Aging in Place program. So Tom's going to talk a little bit about the Aging in Place program, but I want to talk a little bit about the criteria so everyone knows it's very simple. You have to own your own home. We cannot do any repairs on rentals. So you have to own your own home within Medina City or Medina County, anywhere, and you have to be age 60 or over. That's it, and have a need. And we are doing all kinds of smaller repairs through Habitat for Humanity, and we have done some larger repairs as well through community action. So the funding is here, and it's here now. So if anyone is watching or listening or knows anybody who's a homeowner and has a need, I encourage them to contact our office at 330-723-9514. So I will let Mr. O'Connell do the rest. Thank you so much.
As Laura shared, last July we came together, Habitat for Humanity and the Office for Older Adults, to start the Aging in Place program to complete and do minor repairs. And you always use that word minor when I talk to people about this program. We're not putting on roofs or doing total home rehabs as it relates to this program. These repairs allow senior adults to stay in their homes longer and safer. And I'm pleased to share with you that, again, we started this program last July, and as of this past week, here in March, 43 projects have been completed throughout Medina County. 20 of those projects have been here in the city of Medina. And actually, I kind of ran some numbers totaling over $13,000 worth of materials for these projects. This is not an exhaustive list, but these projects have included grab bars, handrails, repairing steps, both outside and inside, repairing loose floorboards, repairing and replacing leaky faucets, lots of leaky faucets here in Medina County, small drywall repairs, and we finished our first ramp just recently to help a homeowner access her home in a much safer way than she had previously been doing. The process is pretty straightforward. As Laura said, the Office for Older Adults handles all the intakes, so the phone calls, the initial inquiry go to them, to their office. They send one of their outreach workers to the home. They're already doing this, and through their other programs, the outreach worker makes a list of the projects and also checks on other services that homeowner or homeowners might need that the county offers. We try to, it's a holistic approach, not just fix the handrail, but make sure they're getting all the services they need. A referral then comes to our office, and we then send our aging in place coordinator. We hired someone part-time to do these projects. He goes out, puts his own scope of work together, and then completes the jobs. I just want to end by reading we've received some thank you notes and emails and letters from some of the homeowners, and this was one. I just want to end with this from one of the people that had some work done. We really have to thank you for the difference your workmanship and knowledge made in our feeling safer in the shower and tub by putting in grab bars. Thank you again. So thank you again for the opportunity to share about this newer program here in Medina County. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to address council at this time?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Can I just add one more thing?
Sure.
I feel like I made it sound like it's a one-year program. We do have money this year from a special grant, but Habitat and Office for Older Adults is committed to sustaining this program for years to come. So I just wanted to make that clear. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anybody else that wishes to address council? All right. Introduction and consideration of ordinances and resolutions. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings on the following ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 6324, 6424, 6524, 6624, 6724, and 6824.
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields.
I will make a motion to suspend the rules requiring 3 readings of tonight's ordinances and resolutions.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion to suspend the rules? Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the motion?
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Ordinance 6324, an ordinance authorizing the expenditure to Rain Associates, Inc. for the 2023 GAP conversion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. President.
Mr. Shields.
The emergency clause has been requested. I move to add it now at this time.
My second includes the emergency clause.
Discussion on the emergency clause and ordinance. Mr. Durham.
Mr. President, with your permission, I'd like to cover this and the next ordinance together because they're
Okay.
the same. This is for Ray and Associates to do the gap conversion. The next ordinance is the audit. Both of these are multi-year contracts that were approved last year, so the contract's already done. You're only approving the expenditure. The expenditure itself is a little bit over the contract amount, and that's because there's a provision in the contract that they can charge a little more if there are new statements, and there are always new statements because I'm pretty sure the people who make those are paid by the statement. So we've got new things that they've got to do. So it will be a little over, so that's just so we don't have to come back. And the emergency clause is to get this done in time and fashion.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the emergency clause and ordinance? Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the emergency clause?
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the ordinance?
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Ordinance 6324 passes 6-0.
Ordinance 6424, an ordinance authorizing the expenditure up to $42,500 to Rain Associates for the preparation of the annual audit for the city of Medina for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields?
the emergency clause has been requested. I move to add at this time.
My second includes the emergency clause?
As you mentioned, this goes with the previous ordinance, and the discussion is had on that. Is there any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on adoption of emergency clause?
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Will the clerk please call the roll on adoption of the ordinance?
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Ordinance 6424 passes 6-0.
Ordinance 6524, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the scope of services as for the engagement letter from McDonald Hopkins LLC as it pertains to the legal services pertaining to bond counsel matters related to the courthouse improvement project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Durham?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to be clear on this because a couple of you have asked me to make sure we clarify. We aren't borrowing money for this project at this time. The city has sufficient money to pay for this project. What we're doing here is preserving the ability to borrow money in the future. Under Ohio law, we can only borrow for certain limited things. One of those is acquisition of an asset, so we can do it at the beginning, but we could not come back and do a borrowing later unless we dot all the i's and cross all the t's legally in advance now. And this is to engage McDonald and Hopkins to handle those i's and t's so that we are prepared so that if we decide in the future to borrow on this, we can.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on adoption of the ordinance?
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Ordinance 6524 passes 6-0.
Ordinance 6624, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of two 2024 F-150 4x4 pickup trucks from Montrose Ford for the water department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Pacoli.
Thank you, Mr. President. The purchase of these two vehicles were discussed in the water distribution budget in 2023. So here we are a year later. Trucks, as we stated before, are becoming available. So we're hopeful to see them in the upcoming year. They will be, in this year rather, they will be replacing a 2010 pickup and a 2011 pickup. So they serve the city well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the ordinance?
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Ordinance 6624 passes 6-0.
Ordinance 6724, an ordinance amending ordinance number 19023 passed November 28th, 2023, amendments to the 24 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's a number of pass-throughs of grants and donations in here. There was one that was a closed purchase order from last year, so we have to get a new appropriation this year.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the ordinance?
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Ordinance 6724 passes 6-0.
Ordinance 6824, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Medina, Ohio, certifying that when a municipal obligation was incurred, sums were lawfully appropriated into funds to satisfy the obligation, and sufficient funds currently exist to satisfy this obligation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President,
Shields?
the emergency clause has been requested. I move to add at this time.
My second includes the emergency clause?
Discussion on the ordinance and emergency clause, Mr. Turner.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is for paying for the audit, which was approved in the contract last year, but the approval of the actual expenditure this year is now.
Thank you. Any further discussion? And emergency clause, of course, because it's already happening. Will the clerk please call the roll on adoption of the emergency clause?
Simpson.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the ordinance?
Coin.
Yes.
DeSalvo.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Ordinance 6824 passes 6-0.
Council comments, Mr. Simpson.
Thank you. Real short and sweet. Please remember to be kind to each other. It's real easy to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hare.
I just want to remind everybody, more so for those people that no longer have children in our schools, it's spring break time. So not all of the county schools are on spring break at the same time, but just expect to see more kids out and about. Expect to see maybe an increased number of cars on the streets. So just be prepared, be aware, be safe. And this is going to happen for the next several weeks. And also, have a happy Easter. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other- Mrs. DeSalvo.
Mr. Rose, can go ahead. Okay, thanks. I just wanted to say, I hope that should the levy come up again this fall, that we have a better outcome that we're all looking for. And I don't want to jinx anything, but I did look at the 2-week forecast, and Monday the 8th is supposed to be sunny.
Oh, that's good news. Mr. Rose.
Yeah, but you forgot to factor in its home opener. It always snows on home opener. Okay. All right. I'm not a meteorologist. Okay. This being Holy Week, it's time to everybody to reflect and think of the glorious time that's going to come on Sunday. Happy Easter to everybody.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, the meeting is adjourned.